at all these places.
All right. So welcome again to join us today. I hope you guys got a very good Thanksgiving break and welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about Medicaid waivers, SSI eligibility, and preserving benefits. But before I introduce my speaker of today, I'm going to introduce myself and Partners Resource Network. My name is Veronica Alvarez, and I'm the Region 13 Coordinator for Partner Resource Network Team Project. Let me share my screen real quick for you guys. So, Partner Resource Network is the parent training and information center for Texas. We are funded by the Department of Education, Office of Special Education, to provide free resources and training for parents of children with disability and youth with disability that we call self-advocates. Our mission is to empower and support Texas families and individuals impacted by disabilities with special healthcare needs. So who we serve? Parents of children with disabilities, youth with disabilities from the ages from 0 to 26. So we have 4 projects serving parents here in Texas. We have the PAT project, the Teen project, the PEN, and the PACT project. But we all are the same family of Partner Resource Network. I'm part of the Teen project. I'm in the Region 13, that is the Austin and surrounding areas. And part of other regions that are from the Teen project are Region 20 from San Antonio and Region 1, that is all the Rio Grande Valley area. But as you can see, we have 20 coordinators across Texas. And if you don't know who your regional coordinator is, you can ask me in the chat, or and I can tell you who is your coordinator near to your where you live. So our services are free, and we provide parent workshops, youth workshops, webinars like this one, information and referrals, one-on-one technical assistance. We do a lot of supports in the ARD meetings. We help you guys with the IEP preparation paperwork. Once a year, we have a symposium, each of our coordinators across Texas, and we offer also parent leadership training and youth leadership training. And for today, your cameras and microphones are off. So if you have any question, please type it in the chat box or in the Q&A. And I'm going to be monitoring those, and Michelle is going to help us answering those questions. If we don't have an answer, then we are going to search for one for you, and we will email you that answers. And this webinar is being recorded, and later on, we are going to post this video in our Facebook pages. And also, Michelle is going to tell us they have a YouTube channel that they also put there our videos. And please help us with filling after this presentation a link. You're going to receive a link with an evaluation of this presentation. Help us with that. That's the way that we report to our grant, and we continue having free resources for you guys. And we do not provide CEUs, but we can provide you with a certificate of attendance. If you need one, please put it in the chat box or email me. You have my information in the chat box, and I can make one for you. So again, my name is Veronica Alvarez, and my phone number, you can see there, my new email, region13prn@gmail.com. And please visit our webpage, www.prntexas.org. We have a lot of information about events, about everything about disabilities and special education information. So, all right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to introduce today Michelle Morris with Consolidated Planning Group. She is talking today in behalf of Allison Chaberg. You know her. She's been, Allison has been working with us over a year now, but she has something, a family emergency. So now Michelle is going to help us with the presentation today. Michelle?
Thank you so much, Veronica. Yes, I work with Allison. I love seeing all these little notes coming through. Welcome, everybody. Just to let you know, I am just south of Houston in the Missouri City, Sienna Plantation area. So greetings from Sienna Plantation. I hope you're having a great day. And we're going to go over the special needs planning, waivers, Social Security eligibility, and preserving benefits information. I am also a financial planner. The firm focuses on special needs. I love helping out in the community and doing as much as I can. One quick note, even though you guys are muted, unfortunately, my dogs are not. I have 3 large dogs and it's Christmas time almost, so you know we're getting deliveries. And if that doorbell rings, I warn you in advance, I'm sorry. So without any further joking around, let's get going. Okay, so, oh, there we go. So there are a lot of different Texas Medicaid home and community-based waivers. And this is a list of some of the waivers and the benefits that are available out there. CLASS is the Community Living Assistance and Support Services. The deaf blind with multiple disabilities, it's with, not or. Home and community-based services, Texas Home Living, medically dependent children's program. There's a STAR Plus waiver. Sometimes that's called the 1115 demonstration waiver, and youth empowerment services. So there's a lot out there to think about. And there's also community first choice. So you have a lot to think about and a lot of help out there. And most people don't know what they don't know. So that's why we're here providing as much education as possible about these things. So highlights of some of these programs. CLASS, the Community Living Assistance and Support Services. It gives home and community-based support to children and adults with related conditions. There are over 200 different related conditions like cerebral palsy, spina bifida that they help with. It has to have begun, the related condition or disability has to have occurred before the child was age 22. So as long as it started before age 22, you can take advantage of CLASS. The next one is DBMD, the deaf blind with multiple disabilities. This is for children and adults who are deaf, blind, or have a related condition that will lead to deaf blindness and who have another disability. It's not one or the other, you have to have both. Home and community-based services, HCS, this is a great one. It gives services and supports to children and adults with an intellectual disability or a related condition. And they live with their families in their own homes, or they might live in small group homes with not more than 4 people. There's the MDCP, the Medically Dependent Children Program, which gives services to children and adults who are 20 and younger who are medically fragile. And this is as an alternative to being receiving services in a nursing facility. STAR Plus home and community-based services gives support to adults over the age of 21 to keep them in their community and not in a nursing home facility. There's Texas Home Living, which gives services to children and adults with intellectual disabilities or a related condition who live in their own home or their family's home. Youth Empowerment Services, which is YES, is a Medicaid program that gives home and community-based services to children under the age of 19 who have serious mental, emotional, and behavioral difficulties. And Community First Choice allows states to provide home and community-based attendant services and supports to Medicaid recipients with disabilities. It helps with daily living, health-related tasks. It offers hands-on assistance, supervision, even queuing, and services to help the individual learn how to care for themselves. Veronica, do we have a question?
Yes, we do. We have some questions. From Rachel, these programs are available for a 21-year-old.
Some of them are, as you can see, for example, Star Plus. It says right there, it's available to adults over the age of 21. Youth Empowerment Services is under the age of 19. Let me go back a page here. Community Living, the class, the first one, is as long as the diagnosis was before the age of 22. Yeah, so most of them will work with that age group. It just depends on the different programs.
I think the MDCP is for younger than 20, but I think the rest are, right?
Yes, the MDCP, the bottom on this list is 20 and younger. Mhm.
All right, we have another question. Do they provide house rent allowances for class or HCS, or is just services?
They provide they provide the services. They don't pay rent. No. Is that what the question was?
Yes, I think it was about rent. Let me go back.
Okay, can I go on?
House rent.
Oh, okay. So generally, let's talk about how you become eligible for these waivers. Most of them are for all ages. The MDCP and Star Plus we just talked about, those are exceptions to that. Most of them are based on financial eligibility, except the Texas Home Living. So all of them except Texas Home Living, you have to be within 300% of Social Security income. The 23 guidelines, I'm sorry, 2382 there. It does not look at the parent's income, but it looks at the child's income. And individuals must meet the functional eligibility criteria for that waiver. So whatever specific waiver you are interested in, you have to meet the criteria for that one. And one important thing to remember is that these wait lists can be very long. You put your name on a wait list, and you do not have to prove eligibility until your name comes up. But it is important to take into consideration that, you know, if it says that they have to have that disability before the age of 22 or whatever the guidelines are, you still need to follow those.
Yeah, we have some questions. It says from Jessica, I have already applied for MDCP, but I'm on a huge wait list. Is there any service that can provide immediate help? I can afford a lot of my daughter's medical needs.
There are certain crisis situations that they might be able to bump you to the top of the wait list if you meet these critical situations, but you really do have to have a crisis going on in your family. Otherwise, you know, you have to wait just like everybody else, unfortunately.
From Greg, there are conservative waiting lists for some or all. Do you know the timeline on the waiting list? He's asking. There are conservative waiting lists for some or for all. Do you know in each one how that waiting is about?
Well, we're getting there. This next slide talks about it a little bit.
All right.
Okay, so there are two funding paths for the waivers. One is, you know, you put your name on the interest list, the wait list, and those are first come, first serve statewide programs, and the wait can be as long as 14 years. But there are programs, waivers that are promoting independence. They understand that you can't wait that long. They are trying to prevent people from going into institutions or nursing care facilities, and they do address crisis situations. And this helps individuals move out of institutions and stay in their own homes. So in terms of the wait list, there are a couple of different ways to get on the wait list. You need to, for MDCP, class, and DBMD, and we'll send you, there's a lot of letters. We'll send you this slide deck so you can remember what all those letters stand for. Anyway, for those waivers, you call that 877-438-5658 to get on their waiting lists. Now, when it comes to HCS, Texas Home Living, and CFC, HCS is the Home Community Services, you have to call your local Intellectual and Development Disability Authority, your LIDA, or LIDA, some people call it. And in order to find out who that is, there's a website there, hhs.texas.gov/contact/search should get you there. And they will help you figure out who your local authority is, but you do need to call or talk to them to get on that list. And then finally, for Star Plus, there is a third phone number for you to call. So some people say, oh, I talked to my local authority and I'm on all the waiting lists. Well, no, not unless you called those two phone numbers as well. So you have to make sure that you're really on all of them. There's a wide variety of help out there. The crisis diversion spots that I was talking about, if you or your loved one is truly in crisis, you can contact your local authority and tell them that you would like to request an HCS crisis diversion waiver. They'll help you with the process and make sure that you're involved. There is also, oh, this picture is kind of blocking the words. I'm sorry. There's also
my chat.
diversion and transition from nursing facilities and specialized services help available with PASRR.
Asking, these waivers are for people that have Medicaid. These programs are only through Medicaid?
No, not only through Medicaid. These are Texas government benefit programs that are out there now. Some of them, like if you qualify for the program, you will also qualify for Medicaid. Or if you qualify to get Social Security benefits, SSI benefits, you will qualify for Medicaid. But these programs are not contingent on you having Medicaid. You just need to sign up for them, get on those waiting lists, and wait your turn, but definitely contact your local authority to be able to help make sure that you're getting everything you deserve.
I have another question. My child is on MDCP. When he aged out, does he move to class automatically? Or does he goes to a different waiver program, or he's in the wait list still? Do you know?
Is he, well, I don't know if he's already on the wait list for class, and I don't know if it's automatic. I'll have to check into that one for you. And if you would like to email me that question, I can find out more information for you on that one.
This is from Carrie here. Carrie, I'm going to share my experience. My son was an MCDP for a long time, and then they called me at, I think it was year 11. I didn't wait 14 years. I waited 11. In the 11th year, they call me from class, but I was in all the waiver lists. They call me from class, and you don't have you cannot be in two waivers. You have to be just on one. So I changed in class, but I don't know if it is automatically or how that works. Michelle is going to find out about your question.
Yes. Are there any other questions before I go on?
Let's just do one more. My son has been in MCDP for 9 years now. I signed, it's the same thing. I signed from class waitlist. I used to get annual cost to see if I still wanted to be in the waiting list. I no longer get this call. Should I call to make sure he's still on the wait list?
As long as you have you maybe changed your phone number or moved or anything like that, you always want to make sure that you update your information with all these waiting lists, because if you move or change your phone number and they can't get a hold of you, they will go ahead and take you off the list. Now with the pandemic and things being so busy and so crazy, I'm not surprised that they might have stopped calling every single year to reach out to you, but it never hurts to call them and make sure you're still covered. All right, so how to get started with special needs planning. So our motto is always that you want as much help as possible, and sign up for as much as possible, all of the waivers, all the waiting lists. And if your name comes up and you don't need it, then great. But if you do, you're prepared. And that goes along with all the planning that we do. We plan for the worst, and then when the best happens, you just have extra so you don't have to worry. When we're talking about special needs planning, you can work with us at Consolidated Planning Group. We are special needs planners. We will help you formulate a plan for your family financially and in terms of special needs, what's needed for your child, for their future care, all of the Social Security benefits, the SSI and SSDI and all of that, and how to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. So once you give us a call, we'll gather all of your planning documents and look through and help you out. One thing you want to consider doing is a letter of intent. This is kind of like a love letter to your family, if you will. If something were to happen to you and somebody else had to step in to take care of your loved ones, they don't know as much as you. So it's important to put it on paper, or at least have a Word document on your computer, which is probably easier for updating it. And you want to think about your vision, your life, how you hope that things will look for your child, but you also want to put in what they love, what they hate, what the doctors are, where they were born, all the important statistical information, what their diagnoses are, what they're involved in, what school, phone numbers of trusted friends and relatives, all of that information, so that if someone ever has to step in on your behalf, they could read this letter and see, if your child can't go to bed with this special stuffed animal, they better make sure that that one is always, able to be located. Or if this kind of food makes your child break out, or this kind of food is what they really love and the only thing they'll ever eat, people need to know that kind of stuff. And you do need to let people know where this important information is, so that it's not, a scavenger hunt to try and find out how to help take care of your family in times of crisis. One question that we always get is, how will my child's care be funded? Veronica, do you have something?
Yes, we have a lot of comments in the chat box about the waivers. We have a Cynthia that is a class case manager, and
Perfect.
she's saying, actually, the class part of the eligibility is that they qualify for Medicaid. And
Okay.
she's saying also it's not automatic transfer to class from MCDP. So it's not automatically. You have to apply and be on those lists and qualify. I mean, apply, right, to be eligible to have a class.
Fantastic. Thank you for chiming in on that.
Ms. Morris, to be in a waiting list from HCS of TXHML, do you not need Medicaid? However, Medicaid is a requirement to be eligible and enroll in the programs. That's from Mary Sotelo.
Okay. Okay.
If you have two services from the waiver program or just one service when our kid name came to the top of the list? Can you have two services from the waivers programs or just one service when our kid's name come to the top of the list? I think we answered that, right? It's just
yes,
one
yes, I think we
waiver.
talked
You
about
can
that.
be just in one waiver, I think. That's the question.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think you can only have one at a time.
Please repeat the website and how to find your local office for signing up for HSCS. Well, we are going to send, because I'm reading also the question about the presentation slides. We are going to send you at the end of this presentation an email with the slides, and you are going to have there the website. But you wanted to repeat it?
I put it back on the screen, so it's there in blue, the hhs.texas.gov. And I'm trying to look at some of these comments and questions as well.
You have another question that you want to answer for them?
Not that. Oh, I do see Elizabeth just posted that her son got an offer letter for HCS, and then they had to go apply for Medicaid in order to accept that offer. So that's interesting. And Carrie just asked, when my child turns 18, is SSI eligibility based on his income versus his parents? Yes. And we should come to that, but I will say that definitely once your child turns 18, the SSI benefits are based on their income, and they cannot have more than $2,000 in their name. And one common mistake that we see very often is that parents will list their children as beneficiaries on accounts. And if something happens to you and your child is listed as the beneficiary and they receive your life insurance, for example, then it will end their benefits because they'll suddenly have over $2,000. So you need to make sure that your children, special needs or not, because I mean, I know that all of our children are brilliant, but even my children who are not special needs, if they received a large amount of money the minute they turned 18, I couldn't imagine the trouble they could get into with that. So you should set up a trust, a special needs trust, or at least a testamentary trust, which is the kind that forms upon your death. It's just in your will. It's written in your will. And that is where the money can go, but not directly to the children. Okay, so how to fund the care for your child. We talked about future care costs for your special needs loved one if they eventually need some kind of full-time care or part-time care. This is how we're going to talk about paying for it. First of all, we want to make sure that, like I said, we preserve that eligibility for state and federally funded programs. We make sure that we jump through the hoops as uncomfortable as they might be. We make sure that the kids don't have over $2,000 in their name. We establish a special needs trust for their care. We look at our current life insurance and assets that will provide funding for that trust. And also there's the ABLE account. Of course, you can sign up for an ABLE account, put money in there. For the ABLE account, your disability has to have started before the age of 26. Contributions can be made by anybody. The maximum annual contribution is $15,000 and total contribution is $100,000. So you can't have more than $100,000 in there or else you will disqualify for SSI. Distributions for qualified disability expenses are not taxable, and it can be rolled over to other eligible beneficiaries if you'd like. The beneficiary is the account owner, but because it's an ABLE account, because it's the special account, it doesn't disqualify them automatically for SSI unless they have, like I said, 100,000, not just two. So that's really a great place to put money for your children. This can pay for housing, financial management, administrative services, transportation, education and training, assistive technology, support services, and even legal expenses. So an ABLE account is really a great place to put money to help your children. Otherwise, it should be in a special needs trust. And you do need both because they can pay for different things. There aren't limits to how much a special needs trust can have in it, unlike the ABLE account. Other things that you need to think about in terms of your special needs care plan. First of all, you can give us a call and we can help you with a detailed plan. And we're talking about, we look at what your needs are, what your insurance is, what you have in place and what you need to have in place. And we can give you straight down to, okay, this is the phone number that you need to call. This is who your LIDA is. This is the waiver list that you should be on. We talk about all of that stuff. We look at the future care costs and figure out what buckets of money you're going to need to help pay for that. SSI and SSDI, you need to think about the differences. So SSI is, one second, SSI is about $77.94 a month. You can look at the SSI impairment guide. It's normally called the Blue Book, and it gives a lot of information in there. SSDI is based off of working credit. So if your child has not ever worked, they're not ever going to get SSDI. But if your child has worked, then they would be eligible to get SSDI. And once they're on that, after 2 years, Medicare will kick in. SSI qualifies them with Medicaid. And like I said, as long as they don't have $2,000 in their name, you can apply for benefits during the month of their 18th birthday for SSI. And they can also apply for disabled benefits under their parents' record, as long as that disability occurred before the age of 22. So again, like I said, we've talked about ABLE accounts. We talked about beneficiary designations. One important thing about that, we encourage everyone to have a will, a trust, power of attorney, all of that stuff. However, if your beneficiary is set up on your life insurance or your bank account or whatever it is, and that's different from what's in your will, then whatever is on your account is what wins. So if I say my son Jacob gets my life insurance in my will, but when I set up my life insurance, I put my son Evan on it, then Evan gets it, because you have to have the beneficiaries on the benefit on the account. That's what I was thinking. On the account has to be where you want it to go. Veronica?
Yes, we have a lot lot of questions and a lot of comments. We have from Elizabeth that the letter of intent is very important, that her son is 60 pages, so you have to update that letter of intent once a year or twice a year. We recommend doing that. We have a question from Samuel. I want to ask, your community supporting programs, I think, in any form to the members in professional education and in acquiring accessory skill for integration in usual society. So they asking if these programs are going to work, to educate the people and acquire skills to integrate them to society. That's the question. That,
Yes.
these programs have some support,
Yes, the programs have a lot of educational support to help people learn how to take care of themselves. I have seen programs that help special needs children get jobs or learn how to work with people and how to be out in the job market. There are all kinds of programs that will help with so much. It's just so important to look at your local authority, look at Google. And also, we do a ton of webinars like these, and you can find them on our YouTube channel, Consolidated Planning Group. And our YouTube channel has so many helpful webinars that you can look at that go over almost every topic.
Vocational training and post-education, after high school, we have all that kind of webinars from Consolidated Planning Group. We have another this is a comment. My son got his offer letter for HCS, and when they had to apply for Medicaid, they accept the offer. So Medicaid and waivers, I think, go hand in hand.
I see.
This one is,
go ahead.
You read the Carrie question. When my child turned 18, is SSI eligibility based on his income versus parent?
Yes.
So parent claim their 18-old on income tax return will impact eligibility for SSI?
No, the tax return is different. When they turn 18, SSI looks at their income, but you still claim them as a dependent on your tax return. Yeah, and I see some other questions. I'm in the chat here too. We talked about the ABLE account does not count against the $2,000. Someone asked about physical assets, like a medical bed that costs $60,000. Is that an asset to his estate? No, we're talking about money in the bank, money that they can spend, basically. I see one here that says, on my 401k, can I keep my kid as a beneficiary, or will that disqualify her for SSI? You should definitely change that beneficiary to a trust or another adult, someone else besides your child. It doesn't automatically disqualify them, but when they get that money, they'll be disqualified. Yes, the ABLE account maximum is $100,000. And when we take it out of the ABLE account, how do you document the money being used? I'm not sure how they document that. I'll have to get back to you on that one if you'd like to email me that question. And do you see anything else, Veronica?
Having the Q&A, we have some questions. I'm having a problem finding the bank that will allow me to open a living trust. Do you know any bank where I can open a trust account?
We always recommend several great attorneys to work with to open trusts. We have several all over the state of Texas who are very well versed in special needs issues like trusts. And And that's what you would do. You would set it up through an attorney.
So not through a bank, it's through an attorney.
Correct. SSDI questions. SSDI, I think you have, do you remember, Veronica, how many work quarters a person has to have to get SSDI?
An Allison question.
Yes, I can't remember exactly, but I do have notes here that if it's a disabled adult under a parent record, the child is eligible for retired. Okay, let me start over. Oh, I just got a text that says, I believe it's 42 quarters of work to qualify for SSDI.
In the chat, it says 48. We are going to find out the exact number and we will email you guys the correct answer.
It's a lot. They have to have a long-term job. So the child, if it's a disabled child under an adult, under their parents' records, then they would be eligible to receive Social Security up to 50% of their parents. And it does not reduce the parents' benefits when the child starts getting that. And it lasts as long as the parents live. Then once their parent passes, then they're eligible for 75% of that their parents' benefit until the child passes for the rest of their life. Now, we do have a program software that will run all the SSI numbers for you, for us. It will look at yours and your spouses, if you have a spouse in the picture, and the kids, and what the kids will get, what you will get year after year after year. So we can definitely talk about that if you want to give us a call.
First consultation with Consolidated Planning Group is free, and
Yes.
then they talk to you how they can help you. If you agree, hire them, kind of, right?
I see one here that says, I want to engage a special needs planner in the very near future, preferably with a location in or near Kingwood. Well, this is a very specialized situation and a very specialized job. And there are only about 3 firms, I believe, in the area that even do this. So I would suggest that you just call us and we can be the ones to help you. We do a lot through Zoom and telephone and emails. The YouTube channel, again, was Consolidated Planning Group.
We are going to send you guys the slides and later on the recording link to the YouTube channel or our Facebook pages. Yes, we are recording.
Yes.
Do you have seen more questions, Michelle, that you want to answer?
Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good now. I'm going to continue on. Yes. Child support should also go to a special needs trust because that will count as their income after they turn 18. You should, if you think that residential care might be in your child's future, you really need to start touring different residential living facilities at around age 15, just to kind of see what's out there and get a good picture of what you want to move towards. And these are great. I mean, the residents are having fun. They feel important. They have jobs. This is not just putting someone away in a facility, but these residential living homes are really great places. So start touring them, start taking a look. If you need guardianship, you should be thinking about getting signed up for that. Now that does take some of their rights away. That's a big deal. You can also look at supported decision-making. You definitely should have a power of attorney and a healthcare power of attorney. When it comes to after high school, there are options. We have a lot of webinars about what happens after high school and the transition period in between. We talked about the waiting lists for care facilities, community-based care facilities. And there was one last thing. Oh, child support, we just said that. So this is our team at Consolidated Planning Group. Usually you'll see Allison, but today you have me. Her husband, Jeff, is also an advisor with our team. He does most of our big financial plans. My husband, Andy, is on the team. He helps with behind the scenes, all kinds of stuff, life insurance and all that. Then we have Dalen and Jessica and Meredith. They're kind of our support people. They keep us in line, make sure we have all the documentation we need. And the reason it's so great working with a team like this is because if any one of us becomes ill or has to go on vacation or visit family members out of state, you know that you can always reach at least one of us, and we're here to take care of your needs. We all work on all of the files, even though we all have kind of our own little specialty areas. We all work together. We know what's going on with every client that we have. And yes, we always do a free personalized initial consultation. Sit down and talk to you more about how we work and the different ways that we can work with you. We have three main options when it comes to financial and special needs planning that we can talk to you about. You can set up an appointment by calling that number or by calling or emailing me. Again, please follow us on Facebook and on our YouTube channel for all of this information, and the links are there for you. We will email this presentation to you. And of course, that email will also have all the contact info you need. So for the last few minutes, we can answer more questions, I hope. And if I cannot answer your question, or if I don't get to it, please just feel free to email me and I will make sure you get an answer.
All right, we also have another comment from Miss Barbara Bush. Hi, Miss Barbara. Nice to having you here. She's
Barbara Bush.
Yes, we have Miss Barbara. She said that if a disabled person is working, they only need six work credits, which is 1.5 years of work.
Okay.
Could you talk about that question that we didn't answer?
I love this collaboration. Thank you all for helping me out with answers.
Alison had a problem, so that's why Michelle is just helping us with the presentation today. All right, I think we have some questions in the Q&A. Miss Samuel again is asking for the community presenting here, this private project or this project of the State Official Authority of Texas. Can you see it there in the Q&A, Michelle?
Yes, I saw one that was asking about the programs. I mean, these are state-run programs. They're not.
The waivers are statewide here in Texas.
Yes.
And Ms. Wilma again is saying about the trust account. She's saying, yes, I have a trust set up, but I cannot find a bank. So
okay, I can get you some answers on that, Wilma. Just send me a message and your contact information, and we'll get that answered. Unless anybody wants to tell us that they have a trust set up and what bank. Elizabeth, your hand is up, but what can we help you with, Elizabeth?
We cannot open the mic, but you can type Elizabeth in the chat. We have another question. My son was receiving SSI and was switched over to SSDI when his birth parent began to receive benefit. Will he continue with SSDI after he turns 18 if birth parent is still living? That question is in the Q&A answer.
Okay, I see that. I believe so. If he's already was receiving was switched over to SSDI. Yes, so if they're already receiving SSDI, I think that's where they would stay.
Thank you for answering that, Michelle. All right.
Elizabeth, did you get your question typed into any of these?
Elizabeth saying probably her question is too long. From Ms. Camela, are your services paid for from the waiver programs or is it via parents? If you're asking for a financial planner, is not paid by the Medicaid, the waiver programs. I mean, this is separate, right, Michelle? Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, that our services are paid for out of pocket, not from a waiver program or insurance. I see Christina, who I've spoken with before, is asking what to do if you are interested in talking with us, but your spouse is not. Well, of course, we can talk to just you and give you information. But if your spouse isn't on board with our program, you know, what we think that you should do or paying for the advice that we give. I mean, that's up to you and your family. But of course, our initial consultation is always free. And when it comes to the paths that we take for planning, that's up to you. Do you see anything else, or is there anything else?
We have another one from Carrie for supporting decision-making or the form found online and notarized. Is that acceptable or do you have to go to an attorney? When you do a supported decision-making or POW.
I mean, I think that as long as it's notarized and signed and taken care of like that, I think it should be fine. Yeah, you don't have to go to an attorney unless you need specialized help. I'm trying to get Elizabeth some help here so that maybe she can speak or.
Let me see, probably.
I can't find her in our attendees list to allow her to speak. But Elizabeth, feel free to give me a call. My number is 281-407-4087. You can give me a call and I'm happy to help as much as possible. Or like I said, if I don't know, then I will find you an answer.
All right. I think we have all the answers.
Okay, fantastic.
So, thank you so much, guys. If you have an additional question, please don't hesitate and send your questions to me or to Michelle directly, and we can help you with answers. And you all will receive an email with this information later today and a link for the recording. Thank you for your patience and for being here with us today. Thank you, Michelle, for helping Allison to cover for her and be here. Thank you so much.
She left very large shoes to fill. She is truly an expert in this information because she has 2 special needs daughters and she lives this life truly. So yes, like I said, if there's a question that you have that I was unable to answer, she will be able to answer you. So thank you so much. And thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much. Ms. Angelica, yes, I will email you the person that is near Tyler that speaks Spanish too. I have a question. I write your answer. I will send you that. All right. Thank you so much. So I'm finished. I'm going to end the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.